Lauren, the next 31 days are critical for the Indianapolis public schools. IPS will be deciding what to do after October the 2nd, with all students right now learning online.
And now we have our special guest.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
So I am so happy to see all of you and to be with you today.
Alicia Johnson wanted a first-hand look at remote learning. She came to a classroom at Meredith Nicholson Elementary School to teach a group of fourth graders for 45 minutes.
I love books and flowers and you too, Daddy.
Just the pace and the cadence of even something like reading a story, which is a pretty standard fair thing, is just different in that remote learning environment that I had not necessarily anticipated.
Johnson is leading a district that for the first time in its history has made it possible for each child to learn at home via an iPad or a Chromebook. The biggest priority is making sure kids stay on track.
From a technology standpoint, we can literally see kids who are logging in. We can see the length of the time they're logged in.
Johnson, the superintendent, on occasion sounds like a scientist.
When we made this decision, we were at like a 9% community spread. We're actually at a 6.9 if you consider unique cases, a 5.5 if you consider all tests.
She's made it her business to learn as much as possible about COVID-19 and the number of cases in Marion County, all to decide what will happen next with the schools.
I think our community has to keep going. Like, what's at stake is getting our kids back into school, and I think people understand that and seem to be taking that seriously.
Funding is a major concern. In August, she wrote an op-ed in the Indianapolis Star calling on the legislature not to cut dollars because kids are not physically in school.
If anyone saw the work happening, the ways in which we are both preparing to return, but also supporting our kids in a remote learning virtual environment, they would not suggest that we could do what we're doing now with 15% less funding.
Superintendent Johnson is living the realities of this new normal professionally as well as personally, especially with 3 of her own children in IPS in grades 5, 6, and 8, learning remotely. So if the situation improves in Marion County, IPS hopes to begin a phase-in approach after October the 2nd. For example, that IPS may consider allowing its students to return via a mixed schedule, that hybrid schedule of kids being in class as well as remote learning. The plan is still being worked on. Lauren will keep on top of this developing story.